Hello everybody, welcome to Papel Podcast. Today we got an exciting new look at Pangya Mobile, though it might not be what you think. An old Pangya artist released all new art based on Pangya Mobile. Now this art is apparently from 2015, but it just released sometime this week. So these outfits are based off the old design from the beta version of Pangya Mobile. This is about the 2014 to 2015 version. We saw these outfits in all of the trailers and most of the promotional art and screenshots before. So it's clear that these are old and they're not really anything new. They're not something to come up because they did change the artist around 2015 to the current one, which has a more simplistic style, as you can see here. But let's go ahead and look at each screenshot and see what we can find. So starting off we have Lucia, and she looks incredible in this art style. She's carrying her microphone club set from Pangya, which we can see here, and it just looks really good. It has the same kind of shiny style that this artist is known for. She actually did a lot of the art for the online game back in, I think it was around season challenges time. So things like Speaker's art and Cecilia's remodel art, all of those are from the same artist. So it's really interesting to see, and I'm really curious to find out why they decided to kind of like not have her as an artist anymore, and why they changed the style between 2015 and the current version. I'm not sure, and I'll get into that a bit later, but discussing her design, it's based off the art we've seen before. Of course, we can see it much more clearly now. You can see that the hat has this kind of like cat icon, and her whole outfit is kind of based off a rabbit in a way, which is kind of interesting. And it looks really good, and it feels a lot like Lucia, so I'm really glad that it's all consistent. So, moving on. So next we have Aaron, which she looks adorable here. It looks really cool. I'm not sure what club set she's holding. It does look like I think it's the Iron or the PW with either the Miracle Voice clubs or... Yeah, it looks like the Miracle Voice clubs, but it's a bit different. The feathery bit is a bit different color, so that's kind of interesting. Could be a new club set that we're looking at. But her outfit is straight out of the trailer, and it looks really good, and I really like the detail on her eyes and her face, so that's really, really cool. Next up, we have Cecilia, which is really reminding me of the Cecilia promotional art that the same person did. It's got a very similar style. But as you can see, she's wearing the outfit from the first trailer, which is really cool. She's actually got glasses that we never saw before, so they might be an item in the game, who knows. There's lots of detail. It says the Navy on there, and it's very consistent with her type of style. So I'm glad that they've done that and kept the style consistent, and I really, really like it. Next up, we have the adorable Ku, which I always found really odd because the Ku in the earlier versions of the trailer, and as you can see here as well, she wears this kind of like cat outfit. I mean, she has these weird like cat ears, and I don't know, it's all sorts of weird to me. It doesn't really feel consistent with her, but what's really cool is these Dolphinis that she has on her outfit. So she has a pin with the new Dolphini design there, and a pink Dolphini attached to her like thigh, I guess. So that's really interesting because it has a pink Dolphini, which means there's probably going to be more colors of Dolphinis in the game through catty skins, which is really, really cool. And it is consistent with her story because in Pangya Wii and just in the story in general, Dolphini is kind of her caddy, right? So like she's a pirate and Dolphini helps her out and stuff. So I'm glad they kept that, and I don't know, I think it's a really cute outfit, and I think she does look good. With all these characters, they tend to look a bit older, because I guess they're kind of like remodels, because I mean they are starting from scratch, so they may as well improve the models and get the proportions looking better, so I'm glad that looks better. The club set she's using is actually a real club set. It's the VIP club set on Celebrity, but I can't remember what it was called elsewhere, but it's interesting that there's a few club sets in this art that are actually from the PC version, so it looks like some club sets will be returning and some will be all new, so that's really exciting. Next up, we're moving to the caddies, and as you guys know, caddies are a playable thing in this game, which is really cool, just like Pangya PSP. This is Katia, or Brie, or Katie, or whatever you want to call her, but her official name is Katia. And it looks really cool. Like, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of art. The hat is a throwback to, you know, her big hat, her really iconic hat in the game. But she's got a very similar design and outfit from the PSP version, which is really cool. I don't know what else to say. I'm really glad her character has like human proper proportions, because if you ever like looked at her hands and her feet and stuff in the PC version, they just look comically bad because they're so big and like so out of proportion with her body. This actually looks like a human with like magical powers, and I'm really digging this. So next up, we probably have one of the cutest pieces of art I've ever seen in my life, which is Tiki. Tiki is sporting her classic trailer outfit, which is kind of reminds me of a school outfit, I guess, or like a university outfit. It could be from like her magic training school, which is kind of interesting. Something kind of like Wiz City. But as you can see, Mochi is on her head as usual. But the Mochi here is a typical Mochi design, which they actually changed in the newest version to a kind of cat version of Mochi, which is, I mean, even more adorable. But this proves, like, this alone proves that it is based off the first iteration of the game way back in 2015. So that's really interesting, and it is cool to see all the detail, like on the emblem on her shoulder and stuff, and the bow tie and her magical broom and stuff. It just looks really cool, and I will probably main Tiki whenever, if ever, Pangya Mobile comes out. Next up, we have one of my personal favorite caddies, Lola. And she looks kind of different in this, actually. Her face, I don't know, there's something different about it. I think it's her tooth or something, I don't know. There's something definitely different about the design of her face, but it still does look really good. It just does feel a bit inconsistent with the designs, especially comparing it to the other characters. But her outfit is sporting the classic design from the earlier trailers, as usual. It looks really cool, it's super detailed. I love things like the pouch on her waist. You know, she would totally carry a pouch and put all sorts of things in there, so it's really nice. And the detail in her wings, which apparently is not hair, I don't know. That's what Pangya Law says. It says, that isn't hair, those are actual wings, so who even knows what that is. But that's Lola, and she's really adorable, and I'm glad she's back. Next up is actually something really interesting, because this isn't a caddy, this isn't a character, but instead it's an NPC, though again, this is now playable on Pangya Mobile, and I'm not sure if you guys remember, but this NPC is from the online game, and most noticeably in Season 2. Back in Season 2, there was the shop, and it had many different icons and many NPCs that would like present stuff to you. But this is Nuren with her sister Siren? I think that's what it is. And you'll know Siren the best from her Siren card, and then Nuren's her twin sister as well. So we get to play as Nuren, which is really cool. We saw her in the trailer, we knew about it, but now we get to see her up close in detail, and I'm really glad that they're bringing in NPCs that we've seen for years in art, but never got to see 3D models of them. We never got to play as them. and I'm just really excited. And her club set looks really interesting. It looks like something that was made from that club workshop, so I guess we'll see that in the game. But I'm really excited to play as Nuren and find out everything about her backstory, and I don't know, it looks really interesting to me. Finally, we have the most interesting version of the bunch, which is this mysterious male character we keep seeing again and again. The first time we saw them was a recent screenshot, and by recent I mean end of 2016, because Nuren does not like updating apparently. But I initially thought that this was Nuren, because, I mean, kind of looks like Nuren, has similar hair, but upon closer inspection, and kind of as I suspected, I believe it's a new character. This character has different eyes to Nuren, so it definitely can't be Nuren. Looks much older, like probably in his mid-20s. It almost looks like Kaz in a way, but we know it's not Kaz. But what's interesting about this character, in every depiction of art and 3D model that we've seen of him, he happens to have really futuristic looking items. So in this one, you can see that he's holding this kind of like tablet thing, but it's like translucent and stuff. And around his wrist, he also has this like bracelet that apparently has a screen and stuff on it. So it looks very futuristic, looks very technical. And I'm really interested to see what they do with that, because the whole, in my theory, the whole thing ties into the story, because if you guys didn't know, the story for Pangya Mobile is that it's set place 10 years into the future on Pangya Island. So maybe this is like someone from the childhood growing up, or maybe this is somehow Nuren, but he's all grown up and now into technology and crazy stuff like that. So I don't know. Zooming in on the board, it actually says Hottie, which is weird, and it has like a bunch of stats, and it looks like a course layout and stuff like that, so we can't gather too much information from that. But it's interesting that it's actually in English and not in the native Pangya language and writing that they usually post everywhere. So I don't know, who knows what this character is, but I'm really interested and I really want to find out, so please release Pangya Mobile and Retrieve. So that's all the art we saw from today. It's really interesting, and I mean, it's not much, but I'm glad we got some sort of small update. Sadly, I don't think it's going to relate to like Pangya Mobile in a way. Like, I don't think this will mean Pangya Mobile is coming out soon. If anything, it can actually mean something bad, potentially, because if they're allowed to release this art now, of all time, it kind of makes me think maybe Pangya Mobile got cancelled, and because it's cancelled, they're allowed to release the art. I'm not sure. Like, that's just my theory, but as usual, I'm gonna keep strong and hope that Pangya Mobile does come out this year in 2017, as they've said time and time again. Hopefully we'll see something and hear something, I don't know. I'm really not super optimistic at this point, but I've been proven wrong last year in the past, and I hope I get proven wrong again. So I will update you guys anytime there is anything, even small, on Pangya Mobile, and I will see you then. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!